My symptoms when I was first diagnosed were blurred vision. When that was one symptom, blurred vision, and another was lack of motor function and motor control. I would be writing, and then my hand would cramp, and then just lack of motor function in general. Like my leg would lock out of nowhere, and then I couldn't unlock it, so I just have to sit down until it went away. And then that also came about with cramps. Cramps and spasms. I'd have them in the back of my thigh, in the hamstring area. And those were a couple, and slurred speech was another. That's a more common one. But those were my signs. Those were symptoms that my parents noticed. Actually, it all began when I was in church. I used to be a choir member, as weird as it sounds. So basically, I'd sit in the front pew, and sometimes I'd look behind me, and my parents were sitting back there. And how they describe it is basically me looking at you, but through you. And that's part of the blurred vision. At least that's what I think. That was a part of the blurred vision, because I'd space out, and then I'd come back to, and then I'd just smile, crack a smile, and turn. And that's when they started noticing little things when I'd walk, when I'd talk, when I'd write, just little things here and there. At first, it was more of, as everybody thinks, a death sentence, that it's the end of the world. That's how my parents thought. And then in that time frame, we jumped from Edinburgh Medical Hospital, the Children's Hospital, and then we jumped from there because they said, hey, you can't help us. And we went to Driscoll, and then that's when I finally got diagnosed with MS. But in that scenario, it was more of like, is it gonna be something that's curable, fixable, treatable? It was kind of like a whole world coming down, but at the same time, we didn't let it specifically put us down, because it could be a lot worse. And I mean, as I sit here now, there's a lot of people that have it worse off, especially in our society, our little group. I'm one of the fortunate ones that kept pretty much all of my motor function, and I don't have any issues going on to day-to-day life. But it was pretty hard at a young age, just for the fact of you don't even know what it is, your parents don't know what it is, and you're kind of just going off of what a doctor says. And then in my situation, one doctor told me, no, he's chiflao, like he's acting, it's all a ploy. And that was no fault of their own. I was pretty young, and I was pretty much the first one down here, local. But that was in Edinburgh. And then Driscoll, I finally found a neurologist specialist, Dr. Wong. I don't know if he's still around or not, but he was my doctor at the time. And he diagnosed me with ADEM, which is something similar to MS, but also that's when we jumped around from Driscoll to Houston with Dr. Lotzi in Texas Children's. But they all kind of combined to kind of calm us down in that scenario, because I mean, we were young at the time. I was young, and it was kind of the whole world crashing down on us, but you get through it. Actually, that's a funny story right there. I was doing a healing mass at the San Juan Basilica, and I came into contact with Rigo, one of our members. He was sitting somewhere in the crowd, and I had gotten up and gone to the altar, and of course they pray for you and all that. Everybody's chanting and something, but when I went to go sit back down in the pew, Rigo came up to me, and he sat behind us, didn't say a word. His family was behind us, didn't say a word until the whole mass was done. And then we turned around to leave, and Rigo came up to me and said, hey, I want to talk to my brother. And me and my parents were like, what's going on? And he said, no, I have what Matthew has. And it turned out to be multiple sclerosis. And that's pretty much how I found out about the MS Society. It actually just happened out of nowhere, and it just had to be a coincidence. And from that point on, and me and Rigo were pretty close. You know, he treated me like a brother, I treated him like a brother, and I wouldn't be here without him. And there's not a day go by that I don't think about that scenario and where I'm sitting at now, how fortunate I am to have everybody around me. And pretty much it was Rigo. So pretty much how the MS Council has helped me, they gave me some funding when I needed it. When I was going through certain treatments, I would have to go to Houston out of pocket, and my medical expenses weren't covered sometimes, and they would give me a certain amount of money to cover the hotel night, because I would have to stay overnight. And then that's the way that they helped me in that scenario. But in general, you know, we're all a family, and we treat each other like family. So, you know, it's emotionally we're a family, and physically I would like to think that we're all family. But we just try to help out each other. We hear each other out. We have our monthly meetings, and you know, we hang around, we talk, and we catch up, go over little things here and there, like what's coming up, what are we doing. But pretty much we help each other out. It's helped me a lot emotionally, and you know, it's a push in the right direction when you need it, and that's pretty much how I look at it. And we're lucky to have each other. I would tell them, don't be afraid, reach out. Especially to us, we're always open. We receive new members, and you know, I try to be as active as I can. And you know, if you need to talk anytime, I know they have my phone number. I know they give it out sometimes. You know, I mean, if there's someone close to my age, you know, I'll help them out as best as I can, because I mean, I have been living with this for 12 or so years, going on 13. So, you know, it's easier said than done at some points, but you know, everybody's here for each other. And you know, if you need to reach out, you don't know where to turn, you know, this is a good place to turn. And of course, to a trusted doctor, because that's the first thing. You need to get your medicals figured out, then you can come to us, or vice versa. If you can't get your medical figured out, come to us and we'll help you out. But that's pretty much my look on it. And I mean, it's here to help everybody, and we're not gonna push you away. We're actually gonna invite you, because you know, we're trying to gain more contact and get more awareness out there. I know that we do yearly walks in March, and those are pretty good turnout. We do have sponsors. You can get help with insurance, with medication. I know we have a bunch of people there. Careers, I know that we have one. Health choices, I know we had a dietitian at one point. Fitness instructors, I know keeping active for us is kind of hard, but it is necessary. Just to retain some of that motor function and muscle function, especially for some of our other people in the console that are handicap bound or mobility limited. That's an important part, just to keep them moving so they don't lose anything, because you can lose some of your motor function of just staying stagnant. And I know I did at one point. But you know, we have all these resources that are available to everybody, and anybody that's willing and wanting. That's pretty much all I can say about that. Hi, my name is Matthew Mata. I was diagnosed when I was 8. My age now is 20, turning 21. So in that time frame, I was diagnosed when I was 8. I was the youngest in the MS console at the time. I still am, technically.
We appreciate you watching. If you want to help support our mission of providing resources for the MS community, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. We've compiled a full list of helpful links in the description below, including some you might not have found yet, all to help MS patients.